Hey YouTube, Motor Racing Network, Steve Post here. It is time, folks, for the Great American Race, the Daytona 500, this weekend at Daytona International Speedway. So much excitement going on at the World Center of Speed, and it is going to be a classic. The 58th running of the Great American Race this Sunday. You can catch it on Fox Sports or Motor Racing Network. Twist us in. We would love to have you listen to our coverage on the radio. You know, the Daytona 500 is the classic race. 58 years we've been doing it. What's really interesting is we have really pared this field down. It used to be with Jeff Gordon out there, and then before him some other drivers. We had big-time multiple race winners. Right now there's only a few drivers that have multiple race wins. Michael Waltrip, who's entered in the race, has 2 wins. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has 2 wins. Jimmy Johnson has a pair of wins, and also Matt Kenseth has 2 wins. So 4 drivers have won it more than once, but the rest of the drivers have either one win or are looking for that first win in the Great American Race. Another factor, the last 6 years, it's been a different race winner. So can we go for 7 this year with somebody who has not won in the last 6 years? Now, when we look at the Daytona 500, we can't look any further back than last year. And how about this? Joey Logano scoring the win. We still have a couple of the color chrome diecast cars from Joey's Daytona 500 victory in stock. So we have those in stock and available right now. You can order them up on planbsales.com. And we have 1/64th scale Daytona 500 cars for Joey Logano. So if you didn't get one, into your collection, why not add this Joey Logano 1/64th scale car to your collection? Now, Penske Racing, this is a 2-time winner of the Daytona 500. They won it with Joey last year, and they won it a few years ago with Ryan Newman. And when we talk about Penske Racing, we're talking on the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series side of Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano. But on the NASCAR Xfinity Series side, we're talking these beautiful Mustangs, and these just arrived. We just got these in. There's a Brad Keselowski Mustang, a Ryan Blaney Discount Tire Mustang, and a Joey Logano Mustang. They are all available right now and in stock as we celebrate Penske Racing and celebrate them winning the Daytona 500 a year ago. You can get some 2016 stuff as well, as the driving chores will be shared among those 3 drivers. Now, while we talk about the Xfinity Series, down here on the other side, how about young Ryan Reed? Scored the victory last year in the Xfinity Series race, the Saturday race at Daytona, and we have his race-winning diecast available from Daytona as well. So all of our Daytona diecasts that we have here in front of us, the Daytona race winners, they are in stock, and the new 2016s from Penske Racing, as Penske Racing this weekend goes for their 3rd victory at the Great American Race. Now, one of the things we love to do here on the Diecast Review Show is we love to take your questions, and let's get to some of those questions right now that we have from down below here on our YouTube page. Victor Santiago writes in and says, what do you think about the NASCAR chase format in the Xfinity Series, Camping World Truck Series? I'm going to tackle this one first. Victor, you had a couple questions, but I'm going to tackle this one first. In the Xfinity Series and Truck Series, they also begin this weekend down at Daytona. I'm a fan of the chase system. I have been a fan of it since they introduced it. I really like the chase system. I like the way it tightens things up, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how it plays, and I think it's going to be fun to watch the Xfinity Series drivers and the Camping World Truck Series drivers as they jockey for positions trying to get into that chase as we get into the late summer months. Victor continued, what do you think about the Xfinity Dash for Cash changes? Okay, I like the Dash for Cash. Okay, I have said for years we need to look at something like a heat race sort of scenario for NASCAR racing, and we're going to try it with those 4 Dash for Cash races, and it's going to be fun to watch. And Victor went on, as well as Clark Bobston, Tommy Kennedy, to ask about the caution clock. Okay, I'm really fired up about the chase. And I'm really fired up about the Dash for Cash races with the heat races. This caution clock, I've got to be honest, I'm going to have to see how this plays out. I don't necessarily know that I'm going to like that. We're just going to have to see how it plays out. Now, ironically, when we look at last season, it would only have been used 3 or 4 times, so it would not be something that would happen. Natural cautions came quickly on it, but I'm not sure that I'm a huge fan of the idea of the caution clock at this point. Now, as the season unfolds, I reserve the right to change that opinion, but right now, I think of the changes, that is by far my least favorite one. D1M, 3 Bag D, writes in and says, who wins a race first? Austin Dillon, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott? Boy, that's a great question. I'm going to go with Kyle Larson. He just has been closer more times. Austin Dillon has been great with consistency. You want someone that can knock out top 10, top 12, top 15 finishes, always be running at the end. Austin Dillon is your man. That guy is always there at the finish of the races and always running well. Kyle Larson maybe doesn't have the consistency, but he has more up-front finishes inside that top 5. I think Kyle Larson gets the win first among those 3. Chase Elliott, just being a raw rookie, I think unless we look at a restrictor plate track where he gets himself in the right spot, it might be a little bit of a challenge for Chase Elliott. Jack Kofer writes in, do you think Ganassi will get a win this season while we're talking about Kyle Larson? Yeah, I think Ganassi will get a win. I think Jamie McMurray might win a race or 2. And I do think Kyle Larson will get a win or 2 this season as well. Who knows, maybe more. We'll have to see. And while we're talking about those trio of drivers, Tommy Ziegler writes in and says, with some experience under his belt, how will Austin Dillon fare this year? And this kind of goes to my answer about who will win first, Tommy. I want to see Austin start to run up inside the top 10 and inside the top 5. And I think he's perfectly capable as a driver. I think Richard Childress Racing kind of stepping up their game a little bit and maybe getting a little bit more speed in those race cars. And I think it's going to be interesting to see if they can make those two meet where Austin Dillon ends up. He's certainly a capable driver, and I'm hoping for good things out of Austin Dillon as he continues to climb the NASCAR ladder. TAH2714 writes in and says, it seems that Germain Racing is getting better and better each year. Do you think Casey Mears and the 13 team might become a contender in the near future and even snag a win possibly? You know, you're right about that. That's a great point. This team has slowly climbed the ladder and they do get better. And I think one of the reasons they get better is they don't go mixing things up. Booty Barker, the crew chief, and Casey Mears, now they've been together for a number of years and they just keep scratching and clawing and getting better and better. Now, on to winning races. I really still think they're a team that's going to have to look at Daytona or Talladega. By the way, Casey Mears is very good at those racetracks where they could possibly sneak a win out this season, but I still think they're in the category that they need to look at those races as their best shot at scoring victories. Really, really cool stuff. We love your questions here at planbsales.com. Keep them coming, and we'll keep answering these questions as we continue the Diecast Review Show. We do it every week here. You can look for it on Tuesday afternoon. We'll bring you all the latest in Diecast, and we'll answer your questions and talk NASCAR. Next show, we're going to talk about what happened in the Great American Race. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We love that you guys are getting involved with us here on YouTube. We have the comments below. Feel free to mention your comments here. Follow us on Twitter at Plan B Sales, and we'll keep you informed on what we have. And please get some back and forth conversation going because we love talking racing and love talking with you race fans out there, and we appreciate the business you do give us.